So the way that I doubled down on my values is first I was like, but then I thought, okay, I'm going to write about this a little bit. And I asked myself why it hurt so much. It hurts so much because one of my greatest values as a teacher is trying to help others thrive and transforming suffering. And one of the choices I made in that moment also was to share with my husband that email, because the voice of shame that wants to step back from that value is like, yeah, he's right, you have nothing to offer, so definitely don't tell anyone that other people know it's true. Just like delete that email and pretend it never happened. So I told my husband about it, which was helpful, because he also helped me reconnect to my value and think about ways in which I might actually be of some use to the world. But the next step actually happened this past February. So I was teaching a workshop for mostly psychologists. It was a weekend workshop on self-compassion and the science around self-compassion. And I did an exercise the first day where I asked everyone to write down on a slip of paper, what does your inner critic say about you in like dark moments? What do you say to yourself that is really hurtful and painful? What's that voice say? And then they all put it in the bag of self-hate. And so I got to take it home, and I read through this hundreds of what these psychologists said to themselves in the 3 a.m. in the morning. And the most common thing that was on the slips of paper was, you don't have anything to offer. And I thought, wow, it's not just me. And so I made the choice the next day. I started the next day by telling them the story that I just told you about that email, about sort of the pain of feeling like you have nothing to offer and the importance of recommitting to that value. And I did it also to help them understand that voice is not something that is saying anything true about who they are and what they have to offer. It's sort of part of the voice that comes up just to remind you of what you care about so much. And that's part of the tragic gap. When you care deeply, that's going to be the pain that you feel. It's not the values you don't care about, the negative feedback you get on course evaluations. Like, if you don't care about it, it doesn't hurt in that way. And so in many ways, that tragic gap, or that voice in your head that's a little bit self-critical, it's just there to tell you what you really deeply care about. And that was an example of being able to use a story. I felt it helped transform my own suffering. And I heard from a lot of people at that event how useful it was to hear that as well.